Hey folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's live trading action video. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. Today's date is Tuesday, February 23rd, 2016. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 here. This is the SPY chart, which again is obviously the tracking ETF for the S&P 500. Today we are seeing about a 1% decline, about $2.15 lower. We are just off the lows of the day. I do think the SPY or the S&P will go a little bit lower, but many people are saying we're going to start to collapse, and I'm not sold on that yet, and I want to explain exactly why. So first off, let's talk about in the short term. Short term, you're banging on this trend line. Now notice where this trend line comes from. Pivot tops right here, here, and really this consolidation over here. So that's been support plus the 200 moving average underneath. I do think that gives way and we are going to go lower, but I don't think there's a ton of downside. I think the initial major support is going to come in right here at gap fill. All right, gap fill around the 192 level. I think we touch that either today or tomorrow, and then we need to see what happens next. All right, based on how the market's going today, I actually look at today as being a somewhat normal bullish day. Now, you might say, he's crazy. Why is it down 1%, $2.15 on the spiders? Why is that a normal day? Well, first of all, I called the exact top on this market. I said 195 on the spiders would be a huge resistance level. Why was it a huge resistance level? Well, because it was the pivot top from a couple weeks ago, and it's also the 50 moving average on the daily chart. So, I mean, there's a ton of resistance there. So you expect a pullback. All right, nothing's easy. Nothing goes straight up, nothing goes straight down, right? As you get to key resistance levels, you're going to pull back. As you get to key supports, you're going to bounce. The bigger question is, what's the next larger move in the market? And all you have to do right here, folks, all you have to do right here is look at the charts and notice that you've gone up dramatically into that 195 right here, and today's action is really just an inside day pullback. And again, think of all the bad news today we got. JP Morgan today, let's go to JPM, which is getting hammered. But JPM said that they have more loan losses due to the energy crisis with oil down in the $30 range. That's what they said, folks. Okay? So that means, all right, JPM's looked at as being one of the best financial stocks out there. All right, financial companies. So if they have more losses, the idea is that many of these other companies will have even bigger losses, these other banks. So obviously that's negative news, and JPM's fallen almost 4%. So we know the bank stocks are getting absolutely hammered here. Goldman Sachs, take a look at that, down almost $4. Deutsche Bank is the European one, down about 4% or so. Pretty sharp drop there as well. And you could go on and on. I mean, Bank of America down about 2.8% and so forth. Bottom line is that was negative news that hit this morning. In addition, look at oil, the USO today. All right, down almost 5%. So you have horrible news from the banks, oil continuing to go lower today, and the markets have rallied a huge amount recently, and with all of those three factors, so when a market rallies huge, right, you'd expect a potential for a pullback, right? But even with all the negative news and that massive rally, the spiders, the S&P right now is only down 21 points. Spiders down $2.10. That's it. So you get what I'm kind of saying here is that if this market wanted to collapse, it had its chance today. It had the negative news from JPM. It had the oil drop. And, yeah, it's pulling back. But, I mean, after rallying 14 points on the spiders, of course you should pull back a couple dollars at least. I mean, be reasonable, right? So, in the short term, I do think, again, in the next day or so, you probably downtick a little bit here. Maybe you get to this gap fill, maybe even touch this support. But I'm going to be in the camp that there's one more move up on this market, and I think the spiders go to 200. That's my outlook right now, folks. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see tomorrow. We'll see what happens with oil. We'll see what happens with these bank stocks. We'll see what happens with China tonight and Europe in the overnight session into tomorrow. All right. Just wanted to pass that information along. I think it's very valuable to understand how the charts are reacting, understand to take everything logically and not overemphasize based on emotion. And that's what we do here at InTheMoneyStocks.com, folks. Take the 7-day free trial to the Research Center. That's where it's at. Take care.